Hello everybody and welcome back to the second shelf. It's tag day again. Yes, I am working my way through the tags. And this time it's the 50 questions you've never been asked before tag. For the life of me, I couldn't find out who originated this tag. That's how bad I am at tags. But I know who tagged me, and that was Steve Partridge over at his channel. I'll leave a link to his video down below. Thank you, Steve, for tagging me about 10 million years ago, I think a month ago. And there are 50 questions, and you know I'm waffling, so I will try my utmost best to keep this video under 10 hours. And I have the questions on my phone here, which is a bit difficult for me to read because these are not my reading glasses, but anyway, too much information. Let's get started. First one, what's your favorite candle scent? Scented candles? Candles are there to burn, not to smell. Second, which female celebrity do you wish were your sister? Viola Davis. I mean, given the way I look and the way my parents and my background, it would have to been a half sister, so maybe this cheating, but Viola Davis. And we will talk about how to get away with murder all the time. Which celebrity would you like to be your brother? Mark Zuckerberg, because he definitely needs an older sister to talk some sense into him. Now, doesn't he? Number 4. How old do you think you'll be when you marry? I know exactly how old I'll be because I've been married and divorced, and I married when I was 29. And by the way, it was an amicable divorce, and my ex-husband is my best friend. Too much information again. 5. Do you know someone who is a hoarder? If this question means hoarder in the clinical sense, yes, unfortunately. One of my cousins was a hoarder. Number 6. Can you do the splits? But of course, I'm doing one right now. What do you think? Number 7. How old were you when you learned to ride a bike? I got my first bicycle for my 5th birthday, and I learned to ride the bike pretty much in the weeks after that, with those, little help wheels and everything, and my father pushing me like it's supposed to be. Question number 8. How many oceans have you swum in? 3. The Indian Ocean, the Pacific, and the Atlantic. I have no idea whether there are any more oceans. I'm sure there are, but those are the 3 I swam in. How many countries have you visited? I looked at this question before, and it's about 20-ish. I've never been to South America, any South American country. I've never been to Russia or any of the Baltic states. I've never been to Australia or Asia. So the main countries I traveled in are in Northern America, plus Mexico, in Europe, and in Africa. But it's about 20, if you count Turkey, which I only visited until the airport because then I was arrested. But that's another story. Question number, where are we? Question number 10. Is anyone in your family in the army? Nope. Question 11. What would you name your daughter if you had one? And 12. What would you name your son if you had one? I'm answering these questions in one because given my age, I know that I won't have any children, and I never planned on having any. But if I had a son or a daughter, I would have picked a name that is gender neutral, because you never know how the boy or girl will develop, and that would have been Mika, Micah. I love the name, and I always wanted a name with an open vowel at the end. I like that. What would you name your son? I've done that already. 13. What's the worst grade you got in school in a test? Oh dear. I'm one of those people who never got a grade worse than a B. You probably will stop watching my videos now. I was this horrible girl who was just good at stuff at school, even at sports. Sorry about that. Anyway, number 14. What was your favorite TV show as a kid? I loved sci-fi shows, and we had this show that was called Enterprise, which was a sort of a Star Trek-ish TV show, but then in German, so done by the German television, and I loved that. I loved the space shuttle. I loved the adventures. I loved the crew. So that was definitely my favorite TV show when I was a kid, and you've probably never heard of it. For the German viewers, Raumpatrouille Enterprise. Moving on. Number 15. What did you dress up for Halloween when you were 7 years old? Well, I'm German, so we didn't celebrate Halloween. But if you know, switch Halloween with Carnival, then I was a cowboy when I was 8. I always wanted to be a princess, but my mother was afraid because Carnival is in February, so it's very cold, and my mother always was afraid that I would catch a cold, so I had to dress up as a cowboy. Anyway, childhood trauma. 16. Have you read any Harry Potter, Hunger Games, Twilight? Yes, I did read the Harry Potter series, the entire one, and I'm gonna make even more enemies now with my grades. The one I really loved is the first one. It went downhill from there for me from there on. But the first one I love, and I reread it regularly. Hunger Games, yes, I read all 3. I also loved the first one best, and I think it's one of the best YA books with a political message. I thought it was fantastic. And the way gender roles are displayed, that the female character Katniss, she hunts, that like the sentence, I hunt, he bakes, he had me at hello. Twilight, I tried to read, I think 20 pages, and then I gave up. 17. Would you rather have an American or a British accent? Neither. Australian. I think the Australian accent, English accent, is fantastic. I love it. Did your mother go to university? No, she didn't. Are your grandparents still married? Well, my grandparents, all 4 of my grandparents are dead, but they were still married when they died. I mean, they didn't die simultaneously, but when the first one of each couple died, they were still married. Number 20. Have you ever taken karate lesson? Oh, yes, I have. And all the other things that you need to keep in shape. And I did kickboxing for a long time and karate a little bit, but yes, I did. Do you know who Kermit the Frog is? Yes, I do, but I have to say I was never a big fan of the Muppet Show. For some reason, that never appealed to me. What was the first amusement park you visited? The first and the last and the only one was Disney World. That's what I did, and I enjoyed the day, but amusement parks, just not really my thing. 23. Which language would you like to be fluent in? I would like to be fluent in Chinese. And then I think you have to pick one because there are a lot of Chinese languages, probably Cantonese. I would love that because I think it's a fascinating language, and I would love to learn, to write it especially. Do you spell gray with an A or with an E? With an E. Is your father bald? Yes, my father is dead. Unfortunately, he died 3.5 years ago, but he was very, very bald when he died. Do you know triplets? No, I don't. Do you prefer the Titanic or the Notebook? If you put a gun to my head and force me to make a choice, because I don't really like either of them, but then it would be the Titanic because I love the special effects and the ship sinking, and I'm fascinated by the Titanic anyway. But the movie was don't get me started. Have you ever had Indian food? Yes, I did. We don't have that much Indian food or Indian restaurants in Germany, but you certainly do have them in Amsterdam, and I've visited the UK plenty. So I did have Indian food, and I love it. I always love when my friends cook Indian foods because I have friends who can cook. What's the name of your favorite restaurant? That would be a restaurant in Cologne, and it's called Da Zero, which means at the zero, which is the last name. It's an Italian restaurant. It's one of my absolute favorite. The food is fantastic. Have you ever been to Nando's? I have no idea what Nando's is. It's probably some sort of store. But as I don't know what it is, I'm pretty sure I've never been. Um, do you belong to any warehouse stores? No, I don't think so. I don't know what that question means either. Really pleased with myself because we're making progress. 32. What would your parents have named you if you were the opposite gender? Some variation of Ben or Benjamin or Bernard in German. Uh, what's your nickname? You're not really thinking seriously that I'm telling you that. The only thing I will tell you is that my first name is Britta, obviously, Britta in German, and that's sometimes very difficult to pronounce for people who are not German. So most of my non-German friends call me Brie or Brit because that's, for some reason, that's easier. 34. Who is your favorite person in the world? Well, I'm not gonna be cheesy and say family, mother or whatever, although, but non-family persons, that's my two best friends, and that's my ex-husband and my best female friend who lives in Cologne, and both of them I love. Would you rather live in the country or the city? The city. I'm a city girl. I mean, I would love to have a second house in the country, but I want to live in a city, near a pub, near a bookstore, near a dentist, near something a cafe where you can have drinks. So, city. Can you whistle? No. My father tried in vain because he was a really good whistler. He could do anything with hands and without hands, two fingers, and he tried in vain for years to teach me, but I suck at it, so no, I can't. Do you sleep with a nightlight? Yes, I do. Do you eat breakfast every morning? Yes, I do. Around lunchtime. My stomach wakes up later than I do, and I can't stomach any food before 11 or something. So I don't eat early. I never did, even as a child. Do you take any daily pills or medications? No, I don't. Do you have a medical condition? Or what medical condition do you have? Yes, I do. I'm hypoglycemic, which is the opposite of diabetes, which means I produce too much insulin, which means I can't eat sugar or should eat very little sugar. Um, how many times have you been to the hospital? Only once, when I was born. Have you ever seen Finding Nemo? Yes, I did. I enjoyed it. I always enjoy cartoonish movies, and I thought it was done very very well. So I loved it. Where do you buy your jeans? In a jean store. I don't own many pairs of jeans. I think I have one, and I bought that at a G store. G Star. G Star. Oh God, I'm not good at jeans. We are almost done here. Number 44. What's the last compliment you got? I think yeah, probably yesterday in the shopping mall, some woman complimented me on my lipstick. She liked the color. There you go. Do you usually remember your dreams in the morning? No, unfortunately, I don't, unless I dream just before I wake up. And I always envy people who can, recount their dreams in vivid details. I don't remember them. And if I do, I'd rather not. 46. What flavor tea do you enjoy? I like almost all kinds of tea. Black tea, I'm a favorite of Earl Grey and Darjeeling. I like green tea. I like peppermint. I like chamomile. The only thing I don't like is fruit flavored tea. How many pairs of shoes do you currently own? I'm not going to tell you. I will tell you that I have 3 or 4 favorite pairs of shoes, 2 for the summer and 2 for the winter, which I always wear, and I own a multitude of them, but I never wear them because they pinch my feet. Don't ask me why I bought them. What religion would you raise your children to practice? None. I'm not a religious person. I wouldn't raise them in any religion, and I would have them choose themselves when they are older. How old were you when you realized that Santa wasn't real? I think about 6. We don't have Santa in Germany. We have the Christkind, but that's basically the same. And I think I was maybe 4, but it didn't the not believing it anymore obviously didn't cause me any childhood trauma because I can't really remember. And the last question, why do you have a YouTube channel? Because I love to talk about books. I love reading. I love bookish people. I love to discuss books with you. So that's why I have a YouTube channel. Here we go, the 50 questions. I'm not going to tag anyone because this tag has been around for months and I'm late to the party as always. But if you like the tag and you haven't done it and you haven't been tagged, you're tagged. That was it for my tag on Wednesday. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Talk to me down in the comments about any of the questions or anything else. And I'll see you all soon in my next video. Bye-bye.